Hello, everyone. Welcome to the information session for this professional Scrum product owner course. We're just going to wait for just another minute or so as a few more people join our lobby and are entering. And we'll get started in just a moment. All right. And Jeff, just to confirm, you can see my shared presentation, correct?
Yes, looks good.
Beautiful. Lovely. Got a few other individuals coming in here. All right. We'll give them just another maybe 30 seconds or so more as a few other participants are hopping in, and then we might have a few that. All right. Hello, everyone who just joined. We'll get started in just a moment. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I am going to get started then. Thank you for all of you for joining us for the virtual information session for the professional Scrum product owner. My name is Abby Welly. I am one of the program managers for our open enrollment programs here at Executive Education. And also I am joined by Jeff Lee, who is the instructor for the course today. We may have a few other people that are popping in, so we'll just be kind of admitting them as they come in, but also if you have questions throughout the information session, you can feel free to put those in the chat, and I'll definitely make sure that we chat about those. So welcome again to anyone who is just coming in. All right, really quickly, just a little bit about the agenda for the information session, what Jeff and I are going to cover. The first thing I always like to do is I like to give just a little bit of an introduction to St. Thomas as a university and also us at Executive Education as a department. I know some of you are familiar with St. Thomas and Executive Education, but for others of you, this may be the first time. So I like to talk just a little bit about that. Then I'm going to hand it over to Jeff. He'll talk about the Scrum course, and he will cover the curriculum, why this course is great, and cover a little bit of those. I'll take it back then, cover some of the logistics, go into our upcoming session, cost, next steps. And then as you can see there, I'll answer any questions that may come in. So again, if you just popped in, feel free to put any of your questions in the chat, and I'll go through and read those at the end and make sure that we are addressing them. All right, just a little bit about St. Thomas as a university. Usually we have, predominantly people from Minnesota. This is an in-person class, but because the professional Scrum product owner course is virtual, sometimes we have people from outside of Minnesota. So if you're not familiar with the University of St. Thomas, we are a university that has been around since 1885. So it has a long history of educational tradition. Our main campus is in St. Paul, Minnesota. That's the largest one where we host the majority of our classes and where the majority of our students are. But we also have a campus in downtown Minneapolis and also a campus in Rome. We are based on Executive Education is based on the downtown Minneapolis campus. So if you were to attend any of our in-person courses, this is where we hold them. And then, yes, we also have a campus in Rome as well. So a lot of our students do study abroad programs at our campus there. A little bit about executive education. Here in executive education, we offer professional development courses for professionals. These are certificate programs. We usually like to try and make them shorter, bite-sized, that can help you with your professional development needs. We have two departments within executive education. We have our open enrollment department, and then we have another kind of custom group as well of our courses. So I'll just touch on the difference between those. Our open enrollment programs are what we are, currently offering this course as this professional Scrum product owner course. It is, a scheduled course where anyone from the general public can enroll. Later in the presentation, I'll post a link to what we call our program finder. So that is all of our upcoming open enrollment scheduled courses that you can take a look at and enroll as you would like. We also offer custom programs in case you're listening today and this seems like something that might be relevant to you. Feel free to reach out and I can kind of help you with that. But essentially what our custom programs are, it is when organizations either come up with a brand new program or they take one of our open enrollment programs and we cater it specifically to your organization's needs. We can host it on your campus, or we can host it here on our campus, and it's just for your team, just for your organization, as you need it. So our director of our custom programs, Andrew Claude, does a great job of connecting organizations with professors, and the three of us all work together to create a course that is curtailed to what it is that you are looking for. So that's a little bit about who we are at Executive Education. And diving into the program itself, I'm going to hand it over to Jeff Lee to talk a little bit about the professional Scrum product owner. After he goes into the curriculum a little bit, why this program is great, I'll touch on logistics as well, upcoming session prices, and things like that. So with that said, Jeff, thank you for being here today, and I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thanks, Abby. Yeah, I'm very excited to be doing this class with St. Thomas. I'm actually a University of St. Thomas graduate. I won't tell you how many years ago that was. The campus has changed a little bit from what I see behind my head right now, but I'm excited to be back and teaching this class. This class, the Professional Scrum Product Owner, it comes out of the Scrum world, scrum.org course, but it's not really a class about Scrum. It's a class about how to manage products successfully. And so some of the key things that we talk about are, what are successful business outcomes and how do we measure that, as opposed to a traditional way of thinking from a project management perspective of were we on time and on budget. That doesn't tell us anything about if I actually achieved anything from a business point of view. And so we focus on those outcomes and really how to validate assumptions. How do we know that what we're trying to do is actually the right thing? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how we align an entire organization, right, through strategy at the highest level, all the way down to what teams are doing. Again, making sure that we have that business alignment and increasing business agility through data. My background, after I graduated from St. Thomas, I worked developing code for a little bit, but then I realized that I liked organizing things and I got into project management. And so I worked on a lot of big projects, and what would always happen is we would deliver something and then we move on to the next thing. And I didn't stick around to see if that was actually successful. And so this really changes that paradigm to continually being, releasing something, evaluating it's the right thing, and we'll have a lot of tools and techniques around that. So that's kind of a high level what we're doing with the course. One of the things I think is really cool with this one is a lot of times I'll teach this class in like 2 consecutive days, and there's not a lot of time to try things out or learn from each other. The fact that we're doing this on 4 consecutive weeks in 4-hour chunks gives us time to go off and practice some things, try some things out, and then come back in class and let's talk about what worked well, what didn't work well, both from your own experience as well as hearing about other people in the class and what they're doing. So I think it's going to be really cool for people to have that time between the sessions of the class to go out, use some of these things, come back, learn from what others are doing, as well as make those connections, right? Meet some people in the community, because you're going to have a lot of opportunities in these 4-hour classes. And in 4 hours in the evening, I'm not going to sit and talk at you for 4 hours. There's going to be a lot of interaction, breakout rooms, people learning from each other, which is really the time should go pretty quickly. Well, the other thing I wanted to note here is Abby mentioned that there's a series of classes that we're doing here. So this is the first one. There are other classes that St. Thomas is offering coming up that build on this. So the product owner is like that foundational class, but then we have a couple of classes that get into more detail on specific areas. So the professional agile leadership with evidence-based management, a lot of words there, but basically that's getting more detailed on how do you measure outcomes? How do you know you're achieving anything? And so that's 2 sessions, 2 4-hour sessions that will be. The other one is going deeper into product backlog management. How do we organize the work? How do we break down the work? How do we work with stakeholders is part of that. So a lot of the, with that professional Scrum product owner, we hit on these concepts. You'll have an opportunity to interact a lot and come back to the various sessions of the class and talk about it. Those future ones, we're going to go into deeper dives on some of those important topics.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Also, I apologize as I'm talking. If you can hear buzzing behind me, our radiators are going right now here at St. Thomas. So if there's a little bit of background noise.
It
All right, I'll
seems
take it.
just fine.
Okay, beautiful. Great. I'll take it back over then and just talk a little bit about the logistics. Usually we have some questions about these courses. So as Jeff mentioned, this is a live virtual course. You can see it's the third bullet point there in the program details. So we do, Jeff will be instructing this course. It is held 4 consecutive weeks. So those are on Thursdays for our upcoming session. So you can see the 10th, the 17th, the 24th of April, and then May 1st. And that's from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you'll meet via Zoom. And again, Jeff will be the instructor throughout those courses. There are 16 contact hours for that in case you are, trying to document and clock and use those hours. There are 16 contact hours. The cost per participant is $14.40. We do offer discounts for groups of 3 or more from the same company, St. Thomas alumni, veterans, and dislocated workers. If any of those apply to you and you want to get in touch with me to figure out how to apply those discounts, I will be putting my contact information on the next slide. Feel free to just reach out to me and we'll get that sorted. If you can't make it to the spring session, we are offering another one this fall. So you can see those dates there. And those are also on the website. The link below is on the next slide too, but that is the link that will take you directly to the product owner webpage, which brings me to our final slide. And perfect. Thank you, Carly. She just threw it in the chat there as well. But our final slide is, kind of what are next steps? If you know that you are ready to take this course, Jeff and I were able to answer your questions today. You can go ahead, you can use that link and you just register and pay online. If you still have some questions and you want to know a little bit more, feel free to reach out to me. We can schedule a call or I can answer it via email. Yeah, kind of whatever it is that you need. And there's that link there. The other QR code that you'll see is just a link to all of our upcoming programs. If you want to see those other programs that are part of the certificate series, those will be listed on our program finder as well. All right. And our last slide here is just for any questions. So I know I mentioned it, but in case you popped in late, if you have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat. I am going to pull up the chat here just to see if any pop up.
Yeah, and Abby, I'm going to jump in and answer what I think people might be thinking, even if you haven't put it in there yet, which is around certifications. So
Awesome.
this series is actually really good for putting a bunch of things on your resume, because each of the classes individually, when you complete the class, you'll have the opportunity to take a test, no additional fee, to get the certification, professional Scrum product owner certification, right? Or the professional agile leadership with EBM certification. So individually, you can take the class. You have the option to take the test. You don't have to take the test, but if you choose to get certified, you take that test, you get certified. But then beyond that, if you take all 3 in the series, it's that certificate program through University of St. Thomas that Abby talked about.
Exactly right. Thank you, Jeff. All right. I'll give another moment in case anyone wants to throw any last minute questions in. Give it another second. I think we kind of covered usually the questions that come through.
Um, I'll just ask a quick question. So
Yeah.
just to reiterate, so it sounds like if we take this professional Scrum product owner and we take the test, then we can get a certification. And then we have the opportunity to take one or both of those other certification courses and get certified. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, you could take any of the classes individually and get the certification in that specific class. You take all 3 of them, actually, for the University of St. Thomas certificate, you actually don't need to take the exam that goes along with it. But if you take all 3 classes and are present and participating, then you get that University of St. Thomas certificate.
Okay, and they don't need to be taken in any sort of order or anything like that. Like I could take the product owner certificate, or sorry, the professional Scrum product owner, and then I could take like the Scrum product backlog management and be done. Or if I wanted to get the certificate for St. Thomas, I'd just take all 3 and it didn't matter which order I took them in or anything.
Absolutely true. Yeah,
Okay.
it generally it makes the most sense to take the product owner one first, because it is the foundational information, especially if you haven't been working as a product owner a long time. If you have, then those other classes are probably just fine to start with. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. This is
Yep. And just
thanks.
thanks, Erin. And just to reiterate to kind of what Jeff said, yes, you can specifically for the St. Thomas certification, you don't need to take them in any specific order other than kind of keeping in mind the content that Jeff mentioned for the product owner is considered a little bit more, foundational, kind of that first layer, but technically you can take them in any order. Thanks, Erin. Any other questions for us today?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I don't know why I cannot type here. It says chat is only available during the meeting, and I cannot type anything here.
Oh, that's fine. You go ahead and you can just tell us verbally.
Yeah, so yeah, my question is, I'm a certified Scrum Master, and I already have safe product owner. So what would be the benefit for this one? Do I need both?
I can't really speak to what you'd need. I would say that this class is very different than the Certified Scrum Master. You'll probably get some overlaps with the Safe Product Owner. I think the primary difference is the Safe Product Owner is very structured around how to be a product owner within the Safe framework, essentially. And this is broader as far as, it doesn't talk about any specific framework. I mean, we just talk about Scrum a little bit, but it's more about those concepts of value and, the stakeholders and various topics around that. So I think there's still value there, even with those classes in your background.
So another question is, what would be the more valuable for me? Is this professional Scrum product owner or PSM2 with EDM certification?
Yeah, you mean the product owner versus the professional agile leadership one?
No, the Scrum Master PSM2.
Gotcha. So if you are working as a Scrum Master and you really want to grow in that, that's the direction I would go, because that class does get deeper into some of those skills and new techniques. The product owner is just a different route. I think both are valuable. I think Scrum Masters, they coach product owners a lot, and so it's helpful to know those things as well, but they're fundamentally different.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions for us? Otherwise, I'll give it another second. All right. Well, thank you all of you for joining us today. Thanks for your questions too, and thank you, Jeff, for all of your insights to the course. And we're looking forward to having you when the course starts.
Thanks, Abby. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.